Hello, sweet ones. We are doing a general card pull for this full moon. Remember, this is a message for the collective, so if the message does not apply to you, please walk away from it lovingly, gently. But maybe send it to someone if you feel like it applies to them. Alright, so the first cards that we have coming out here are the Six of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Death card. Okay. Six of Swords speaks to us of transition. Ten of Pentacles speaks to us of wealth development. And the Death card speaks to us of significant change, important change that we absolutely have to embrace. There may be something of a retrospective review here. Clarifying the Ten of Pentacles is leadership. You may have found yourself inching closer into positions of leadership or presentations of leadership qualities. Clarifier for the Six of Swords is happiness. Choosing your happiness meant not playing small anymore. Clarifying the Death card is defense. You've been behind enemy lines. Those are the words coming through. Behind enemy lines. Okay. What's very loud right now is this message that part of who you have been or who you were at one point was a matter of coping, a matter of strategy, a matter of fitting in. Three of Cups. Not rocking the boat, not upsetting the apple cart. This could have been a family connection, a friend connection, maybe both. Maybe you're dealing with codependency across several tiers. There could have been some playing small came through earlier. So there could have been some self-minimization that was showing up even in terms of work. I'm seeing athletics as well. Ace of Wands. Okay. Four of Pentacles. Yeah. At a point, this either has already happened to you or is in the process of happening or will happen. At a point, it became evident that there was more for you to pursue. There was more for you to embody. There was more for you to engage with and manifest. And you took a look within. Very important. Congratulations if that has already happened. You took a look within and found that there were parts of you that were not being developed, expressed, explored, and so on. And that's what brings in that Six of Swords energy. There was this desire to transition out of playing small so that you can fully develop, so that you could be yourself. All right, in the second column where we have the Ten of Pentacles and leadership, we also have the Queen of Cups and we have the Five of Pentacles. All right, so part of this experience of transition, part of this experience of choosing to really be yourself comes with a measure of feeling just a little bit like you took too long and you missed out on things. What Spirit is advising is that maybe those aren't the most productive thoughts. Maybe those are not the most productive thoughts. You need to consider ways to understand your experience, to process your experience without beating yourself up about it. There's also something here about developing a deeper understanding of the fact that energy is not as infinite as you might have previously thought it was. I think that's part of what happened here is you used to think you could pour and pour and pour and pour and pour into other people and that it was fine. And that it would always be this like regenerative thing, or maybe you were expecting other people to pour into you and it wasn't happening. And so you had to figure out how to put a lid on your cup. Okay. And it may have taken you a long time and you might want to be, regretful about that. But honestly, that's not productive. Okay. And I might be speaking in this language of productivity because the full moon is happening in Capricorn. But this is also just how I think. It's not productive to be really critical of your of your historical actions. You need to be cognizant of them. You need to understand them, especially if they were dysfunctional. You need to understand them so you don't find yourself slipping back into those things. Do we have any other cards for that column? No. All right, let's move on to death and defense. Heavy Scorpio energy here with death and defense. Any more clarifiers for this? The Three of Wands. Okay, this is fun. This is, you realize that part of what was keeping you from moving forward was the fact that you didn't feel like you were safe outside of the confines of this Three of Cups connection. You felt like you needed to be within the confines of that connection in order to have security. And in this process of transition, you have realized, or you will realize, or you're currently realizing that that was a false perspective. 1111, as I say that was a false perspective. Likely one that was projected onto you. If this is a family or a friend structure, this could be just something where the connection happened or was fostered during a time where you were feeling particularly unformed or vulnerable, like youth in some way. We also have the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah. It's like, you're like, oh, I can pursue my bag. I can go make money. I can go get stronger. I can go experience freedom. I can go be seen. And I'll still be safe. That's so funny. There's a lot of red in these crystals. That's interesting. That's me just now realizing that this is the same stone on these two cards. So yeah, there's emphasis here on the root chakra. Feeling safe within your own body. Feeling safe in regards to your ability to maneuver reality. You're developing that sense of safety, or you have developed it, because you made the choice to step outside the confines that had been previously given to you. There's another card coming out for that center column. Very interesting. So when you're pulling from playing cards, the Jack is either a page or a knight. It's entirely up to you how you read it. And it's funny because right now it's not pulling either way for me. So this card, for people who are especially navigating this particular transition phase, is either page energy, meaning this is your first foray into stepping outside of the confines of the constriction that you were existing in. Or it's knight energy, in which there's a lot more urgency and confidence in that transition process. Now, sometimes the urgency and the confidence can still be a part of the process if it's your first time stepping away from that experience. If something here was so crazy and so bad that it more or less forced you to level up really quickly. But for some of you, this is not the first time you've come to the awareness that you needed to shift. This is the time where you have felt most capable. This is the time where you have been the strongest to do that. And that's good, right? The outcome is good. If you're still here and you're not here yet, understand the outcome is good. The level of confidence, the level of growth that you're accomplishing here is so good. Can I get another card, a final card for that final column of death and defense, please? Final card for that column, please. The Seven of Wands. So you have not really had the experience of standing on your own 2 feet. You have not really had the experience of doing it yourself and seeing what that really looks like and how that really feels. And honestly, what I'm sensing is that there's a part of you that's like, for those of you who have not already found yourselves here, for those of you who are still maybe here, there's a part of you that's like bracing yourself for disappointment, or bracing yourself for some kind of sign or energy that you're not ready, or that you've made a mistake. But you have not. You have not made a mistake. You are stepping out on the faith that you needed to step out on. You're stepping into the flow that you needed to step into in order to fully develop, in order to mature, right? And it's really funny, all these productivity, maturity, those things are coming out for this Capricorn full moon message. If you are familiar with your birth chart and you know exactly where Capricorn falls in your birth chart, this might pertain specifically to something related to the house or any other planets that are being aspected by the full moon. But generally speaking, the full moon is happening opposite of Mercury retrograde. Mercury is going retrograde in Cancer. So there is this sense of analyzing the past, either here in this angle or from this angle where you're realizing I need to change something, here where you have started shifting out of this space, or here where you have committed to the change and you're having to see just how far you've come. All right. Congratulations. Whether you're here where the idea or the concept of change is brand new and fresh, or here where you've taken the leap and really settled into that decision, regardless of where you are in the process, you have done something fantastic. You have done something spectacular. You've invested in yourself. And there's nothing better than that. Congratulations, friend. I hope this reading served you well.